here we go. So welcome to class this morning. It's going to be a little bit informal. I want to just see if any of you have this assignment underway or even have any questions on the current thing that we're doing in simultaneous contrast. Mine is gluing down on the table right here, and as soon as I can pick up these heavy rocks off of the elements, I might be able to show you mine. If you want to play, if you want to participate, you have to unmute your mic. That's a great way for me to see that you want to play the game. And then we can do a screen share with you if you want to show your thing off, or you can turn on your webcam and you can show it to us just by holding it up. And that's how we're going to play that game. And in the meantime, I'm going to come over here to this video camera once again and start taking the heavy objects off of my project that I glued down quickly, rapidly, right before class started, to see if I could get them to actually not be nasty. Looks like I had a little bit of clay or something on the bottom of one of those things. But so here's where I'm trying to explore simultaneous contrast in a composition. So we're playing with the idea of shapes and how large shapes, when they are sharing a really long edge, and even, it's even more interesting if it's a somewhat complicated edge, can create a higher degree of simultaneous contrast, especially when we're looking at full spectrum intensity versions of each of the two color complements. So I've got violet here, and its color complement yellow, because they are across from each other on the color wheel, so they are color complements. And I got them represented as two really large big shapes in there. And then I've got somewhat neutralized versions of those colors. I've got yellow neutralized with a little bit of violet, and I've got violet neutralized with just a little bit of yellow. And we're putting those as smaller shapes out around the edge on the periphery to demonstrate the idea that you can mitigate simultaneous contrast to some extent and create better, closer color harmonies by having at least one of the colors somewhat neutralized. And so, and then we can explore the idea of, how does this work, and is there any better orientation in space where something like this looks even better and, either is a stronger composition or communicates just a little bit better, or does it really need to be this end up because of certain things about the shapes? And I guess my lightning bolt, if it wants to be a lightning bolt, really has to kind of be in this orientation in space. But I also like these secondary things here. Sometimes it's really nice if they are the same shape, or if they kind of line up so that they are a nice repetition of form or something, or at least suggest the idea of repetition of form, because we get stronger visual linkages among the shapes when they're doing something that's rather uniform than if they're doing something that's kind of random. But you can, your mileage may vary. You can try putting shapes out there that are either different shapes, or they can be the same shape but oriented differently in space. You can even play with the idea of having them not have a uniform spacing, but have kind of random spacing too, just to see what happens in that part of the composition. I went with the easy one to begin with, the idea of just trying to get 3 or 4 shapes that are the same size, in the same orientation in space, with a similar spacing, so that I can try to keep this thing a little bit more unified as a composition. So I'm going to come back to you guys, because now I have to see if you guys have played with this at all over the weekend. Does anybody have anything that's going? It doesn't have to be finished. It doesn't have to be perfect. But even if you had a few things that were still loose pieces that you are just kind of moving around in the compositional space, you could pick up your webcam just like this. Well, if you have a webcam, if a webcam is such a thing that you have, and even shine your webcam down like a bird's eye view on your workspace, even if those things aren't glued down yet. But if your webcam is built into your laptop and you have to pick up the whole laptop and do that, that becomes just a little bit more of an ordeal. So anybody want to talk to me at all? Tell me your story. Tell me how's your weekend go? Were you able to stay dry? It's been a rainy weekend. I'm not here to be mean to you or accuse you of anything. I would just like to see how things are going with this little project, which I haven't even, typed up myself because I was gone for the weekend too. So anybody here? Let's see. Did somebody else show up? No, I just got an email on another screen. So, does anybody have any questions about this? Is there a part of this assignment that is not working for you? Have you had any trouble finding like paint or anything like that you're struggling with? Materials, problems at all? This might be a really short class session today. If you guys don't have any questions or comments for me and don't have anything that you yet want to share with me, that would be fine. Oh, we've got this thing too, I guess. There's also this thing. Many of you finished this and uploaded it, and I appreciate that. There's still several that haven't. And so, I'm still looking for those to come in. If you had a question about this or wanted to share this with a screen share or anything, I would be happy. I would entertain that kind of concept just to give us something to look at. These are not the most interesting things to critique, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but I'd love to give you some feedback if you're looking for feedback on this kind of thing today. Otherwise, I'm much more interested in, look at this, glue sticks, the success, the victory of the glue stick. And now I have a composition that's composed and working for me and illustrates the concept of simultaneous contrast. Well, you guys are very Sphinx-like this morning. The Sphinx is the large statue out in the middle of the desert, next to the Great Pyramids of Giza. And it's quiet, it's silent, it never says anything, and it never moves. Kind of like my students on a Monday morning, all quiet and impenetrable in what they may be thinking or how they might be feeling about this class or this project on this given day. And so Sphinxes, I would like you to try to finish up this project. And I am, as soon as I get off camera here, I'm going to go ahead and type that project up. So we have a project number 4 to upload to. And then I'm going to try to figure out what my next project is going to be, because I'm a little bit behind. We've been moving a little bit slower this quarter than I do when I'm in person. And so it's already the 5th week of the quarter. It's almost midterms. We're supposed to have some kind of a midterm quiz, but I usually like to have 1 or 2 more projects under our belt before launching into the midterm quiz. So we'll see what happens this week. I'm going to have to do at least 1 more project and then do a quiz early next week on the first half of chapter 7. So I'll see if I can either go to the next project or skip the next project and go to the next project and see what we can do. Since I don't have the Vogue magazines or a lot of the fashion magazines out there anymore, we're really hamstrung. I'm going to go back and see what my secondary options are on the newsstand as far as using a magazine source for images and color shapes to do this kind of project. And otherwise, we might be doing a lot more painting this quarter with these projects, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but you will need the 6 basic colors, the 3 primary colors and 3 secondary colors of our color wheel, plus black and white, would give you all the colors that you need to do any project that we were going to do for the rest of the quarter. So you will need those 3 primaries and 3 secondary colors, plus black and white. Okay, well, you're all very quiet. I'm going to leave you quiet like this today. This has been 20 minutes, but you know, it's checking in with you guys to see how things are going. I'd like this project to be fairly completed so that we can talk about it on Wednesday. And by then, I should have the actual assignment up in coursework, so you'll have a place to photograph it and then upload it also. So I think I'm going to leave it there. This is your last chance for questions. I'm going to entertain any other questions you might have as I hear my office phone in the distance. And let's see, there's nothing in the chat. And I think we're going to call it a day for today. So thank you. Good luck on finishing up this project. And we will see you guys again on Wednesday. So goodbye for now. Stay safe and stay dry out there. See you on Wednesday.